In this video essay, I will cover the effect of the Covid-19 pandemic on the graphic design industry. I will cover the following: timeline of the pandemic, the impact for everyone of having to work remotely, challenges raised by the pandemic, adapting to the pandemic, and conclusion. I produced these infographics for a paper in the British medical journal Epidemiology and Community Health. In the infographic, I outlined the progress of the virus and government responses in China and the United Kingdom to the coronavirus pandemic, from the first pneumonia cases in December 2019 in China through to the suspension of transportation and schools to curb the spread. I also show the progression in the UK from the first case in January 2020 through to lockdowns and closures to prevent the viral spread. I used orange bar graphs to indicate case numbers over time relative to these events in both countries. I also produced a graph showing the progression of cases in the UK for the British Journal of Psychiatry, along with indicators of government responses. As a result of the pandemic, various measures were put in place around the world in order to curb the cases, chiefly to reduce the pressure on the health services such as the NHS, which was struggling under a large number of severe cases. In the UK, lockdowns and other restrictions resulted in a heavy hit on the economy, with businesses being forced to move to working remotely as opposed to in the office. Others, such as pubs, restaurants and nightclubs, were forced to close, along with schools and other educational institutions. Matrix in Hull, England, describes in 2020 the effect of the pandemic on their business. A lot of the work was already performed remotely, such as collaboration with freelancers and businesses, meaning the transition was relatively straightforward. However, they missed the liveliness of the office environment. In a 2021 paper, Kenan Berimoglu Okuyan and Mehmet A. Began reported that in the United States, 46% of businesses moved to remote working due to the pandemic, and in Canada, the Canadian Bank of Montreal reported that 80% of their workforce will likely continue working remotely following the pandemic. The article describes how remote working may become the norm, replacing traditional office working, which was a trend that predates the pandemic. The shift will make it easier to work with freelancers and agencies who are not on site, with the emphasis being on skills rather than geography. In addition, employees and businesses can save time and money due to not having to commute to the workplace. This reduces the CO2 emissions from the use of private or public transportation, along with nitrous oxides, particulate matter, and volatile organic compounds, according to a 2020 study by Khalili et al. However, a Computer Weekly article reported losses of work productivity due to workers having slow or unreliable internet connections. The article references Zen Internet Survey, which reported that close to 9 in 10, 89%, of workers wasting 30 minutes a day due to having an unreliable connection, and 1 in 8 of that group losing at least 1 hour. 4/5 of those working from home, 84%, reported issues with unreliable connection, and 86% with slow internet speeds. There are also disruptive effects such as the loss of work-life balance, increased nervous or aggressive behavior, and obesity due to ease of access of snack foods, and social isolation. Freelancers may be ineligible for furlough, so would not be supported financially if they lost business due to lockdowns. The paper, In Creative Labour in the Era of Covid-19, The Case of Freelancers, Pulignano et al. In March 2020 reported a projection of 25 million job losses due to a pandemic. Surveys reported in Europe and North America a drop in demand for freelancers, though this was less so in Australia and Asia. The Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development evaluated in 2020 that creative industries were among the most affected, with results such as bankruptcies and rapidly rising unemployment. 1 in 5 creative industry employees lost their jobs, of which 119,000 full-time employees and 287,000 freelancers. 25% of European freelancers had no savings at all, according to Eurofound, and 30% had just enough to last 3 months. Poon 2019 indicated the reason for this drop being economic uncertainty, resulting in companies following cost-reductive measures such as outsourcing tasks and not hiring staff, with the talent economy, where independent professionals are sought for short-term predefined tasks and workers are commodified in a competitive environment without employers' training support. In addition, there has been a reduction in demand for some services due to restrictions resulting from lockdown. This has pushed workers to seek alternative job opportunities, increasing competition. Upwork, Fiverr, and Freelancer.com have seen increases in freelancers since the pandemic, with the increased competition reducing pay rates and salaries due to gig work earnings being undercut. According to the report, freelance graphic designers have seen a drop in work due to lockdowns, pushing them to reskill, which could leave gaps in the labour market should the economic downturn be temporary. Freelancers, in response, aim for long-term engagement via development of profile, attracting clients, and the establishment of reputation via self-marketing methods. Hence they remained despite the pandemic-driven drop in opportunities on freelance platforms. Graphic design companies and freelancers can adapt to the changes resulting from the pandemic and find business opportunities resulting from the new normal, with aspects such as the need for coronavirus safety signage regarding mask use and social distancing markers. The European Centre for Disease Prevention and Control features a range of infographic materials, including one made in conjunction with the WHO Regional Office for Europe and with infographics by WHO. This is also particularly important due to the influx of refugees fleeing Ukraine. Due to the global nature of the pandemic, the need for suitable signage and information is also global. This provides sales for labelling companies such as Avery with regards to companies and public services requiring stickers directing COVID safety measures such as social distancing, mask use and the Catch It, Bin It, Kill It sign. Royal Leamington Spa, England, has flower stickers installed on the pavements of the parade as physical distancing markers. The stickers were arranged by the Business Improvement District organisation, Leamington, in conjunction with City Dressing. What can we learn from the pandemic? The disadvantages to graphic designers are closure of businesses, and they are often ineligible for furlough due to their independent work structure. However, they are used to being adaptable to the work available, and in some occasions can end up getting more work, such as the Covid-19 health signage. The pandemic situation shows the importance of being able to adapt to the challenges and opportunities of a changing situation, along with having a stable, broad client base. In addition, the need to develop a range of skills that can be used to serve the opportunities available.